Hey everyone, welcome to Snapshot 15W34A. This is probably one of my favorite snapshots so far, and I'm going to quickly explain some of the features of it. So to start off with, there's a change to maps where you can now scale them down through using shears in a crafting table. It's a bit buggy at the moment, but hopefully some of the bugs will be sorted out in the next snapshot. Now we also have a new sort of attack system in place. You can see when I switch to my sword, it takes a while for the sword to actually appear. Same with all the things. There's slightly different timings for different tools. But if I go to options, video settings, you'll notice there's a new attack indicator setting, and you can either set that to crosshair, in which case you get a nice sort of sword icon, which shows up just below your crosshair, and that resets after you either switch weapon or swing your weapon. And the amount of damage you do is based on how full that timer is. So if you spam click, it'll take a lot of hits to actually kill anything. So this is just a normal zombie. I've just set it to no AI, and I believe it actually does less damage if you click fast enough, less damage than just an empty hand. But if I let it recharge, hit, let it recharge, hit, let it recharge, hit, you can see it does it a lot quicker. Now there's one sort of problem with this so far that I've noticed, is that the diamond axe takes a while to charge up, but it actually does less damage than the diamond sword. So Dinnerbone has said that it's not very balanced or anything like that. Another problem that I've noticed is actually picking up inventory items and everything like that sort of changes the attack indicator. That's probably a bug, but we'll see in the future. And there's another sort of setting for that, which is hotbar, which just shows this icon in the hotbar instead. Personally, I much prefer the crosshair variant. And also you may notice that the zombies have a sort of different model now. That's one reason why giants don't work anymore, or why they don't actually render. So hopefully that'll be changed soon, but think of it as a bug at the moment. So yeah, their hands, their arms are slightly tilted down, and if I do entity data @e type equals zombie, no AI set to 0. Yep, okay, these guys can move around. And then I go into game mode 0. You'll see when they try and attack me, their arms will point upwards, which is a bit weird. I think they should be slightly lower. A lot of people have been saying it looks a lot like a Nazi salute or something. I'm going to say it's a bug for now. I think it should be lowered down a bit, and when it's attacking, it should indicate at this sort of height. But anyway, let's kill these. I'm going to have to get used to this spam clicking thing. But the real big change is with command blocks, and I'm actually really happy with these changes. They haven't actually they haven't introduced anything new, but they've definitely changed how things can be done and made things a lot more efficient. So another change I should talk about is that there have been some optimizations to tick speed, which might have something to do with the command blocks, but anyway, we'll get into what these types of command blocks are. So the GUI hasn't changed much, other than there's now a button here, which actually changes the type of command block that it is. So this is an impulse command block. It's just the same as your regular sort of command block. This is your repeat command block. It's sort of like a 20 hertz fill clocking block basically. And you have a chain block, which I'll sort of explain in a bit. This is probably one of my favorite blocks, I think. Also, you'll notice that the command blocks are now sort of directional. So there's sort of an input and then directional arrows facing towards an output. And that's more used for things like the chain blocks and everything like that. So obviously the impulse block, if I just do say hi, it activates whenever it receives new redstone current. With the repeating block, I can put say hi, and as soon as it's powered, I think it does matter. No, it doesn't. So any side that you put it on, it'll spam that command at 20 times a second, or 1 tick per second. And then the chain block, it's probably better to explain it over here. So if I just leave this command block empty, here I have say 1, say 2, say 3, and say 4 in these command blocks here. Now, these chain command blocks need to be after a different type of command block. But if I power this, you'll notice that nothing happens. And that's because you actually need these to be powered for them to actually say the command. So you can see that happens sort of instantly. They power in the order that the chain is formed in. And that's actually rather interesting, because you can actually form chains which go into different sort of directions. They don't have to follow the usual sort of axis for redstone blocks that a fill clock, for example, would need to run on. So this is really useful for sort of imagining how commands are going to be run. So if I just do all of these like that, you'll see that it runs from 1 to 10, and there's no sort of visual delay or anything like that. Another thing that I noticed is that you can actually sort of combine different chains. You can combine them in any sort of way like this. So if I power this one here, you'll see it repeats from this point onwards, but it won't power anything before that point in the chain. So these don't have anything in them. Another interesting thing is that you can actually change the sort of block type. So if I press F3, you'll see on the right there is a facing sort of tag, and through changing that you can actually change which sort of direction the chain outputs in. So I have a command here that says say 2 and a command here that says say 1, and in these two last sort of commands they're changing the direction of this block here. So if I put that on repeat, you can see it swaps back and forth, alternating the sort of numbers that are said. And there's also a sort of new block data tags. So if I do block data for this block here, you'll see that there's a new, so pretty much most of it is the same as normal, but there's a new powered tag, which is sort of interesting, because before you'd have to have, well, you usually have to have a redstone block on top of this chain block. If I just put something in the chat just so it's not outputting anything, but we can actually change this tag to powered 1, and it'll actually output as if it's being powered by a redstone block. But as soon as that block receives a block update, so if I do anything like that, it'll stop being powered. So if I power it again, stuff like that. But really, these sort of new types of command blocks don't actually change what's possible. They just make things a lot easier and definitely help with any lag. I believe they've totally got rid of block updates as long as you turn the track output off. Just put it to the little X, and that'll stop pretty much any block updates, I believe. I haven't done much testing as to whether there's still the 63 clocking block limit or anything like that, but it should definitely be improved. One other thing I want to sort of end on is look at these animations. They're so subtle and nice. I really like them. So I really sort of appreciate the changes. So thank you, Sarge, for everything, really. And also, he also mentioned that the colors are exactly sort of equidistance apart from each other in the sort of color wheel. So that's kind of cool as well. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. I'm sure I'll have some sort of new things to show you soon with these. But it's currently 1 AM, so I am going to go to sleep now. Good night.